Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303, episode 326. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. These are the executive producers, the Nutty Putty, and the EPE. Down below if you're watching on YouTube. Today's episode, we'll get into head-to-head review, blind five, no pop culture this week. We try not to run too long, and then we'll get into the penultimate 2025 NFL Divisional Breakdown with the AFC South. Without further ado, how are you doing this evening, Nevada?
Good. I'm glad college football and football in general is back. Currently got 4 games up on the TV. The podcast's very own Rutgers University is shellacking Ohio currently 31-14. And I have a question for the pod, primarily Eric. Eric, what NFL division has the most top player drama, and why is it the NFC East?
It's the NFC East, probably. I don't know. There's a little, maybe the AFC North might have something to say with it, though. But it's probably the NFC East. Jerry Jones is
doesn't even hold a candle to the East. We'll get into that.
Breaking news.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers for defensive tackle Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. Now, the only reason I did that now is because we haven't heard from Eric in his intro. So now, how are you doing, Eric?
I mean, I'm feeling good, man. And anytime a divisional rival takes a step back, and a massive step back, their best player is basically gone, you love to see it. But the Packers, man, the NFC East also plays the NFC North this year. I'm honestly I'm tuning in for that Packers game, that Packers-Cowboys game, because I hope Micah just feasts on his old team, dude. I'm praying he just blood in the water, man. I hope he just goes bananas.
All we can do is laugh. Nevada, thoughts on the Micah Parsons saga, right? It's been happening all off season. So thoughts?
Yeah. I think when it first started, when Micah said, hey, I want to trade, I think I may have said on this pod, I can't remember if it was him or Scary Terry. It could have been both. But it seemed like one of those things where it was kind of the next step for both players to say, hey, I'm serious about this. And then ultimately the teams will get the deals done. Obviously saw it get done with Scary Terry. But Micah, man, that GM – in Dallas cannot get out of the owner's way in Dallas. And unfortunately, it is the exact same person. One of them's got to go. But awesome pickup for Green Bay. And I think it was a fairly good haul for Dallas as well, getting 2 firsts and All-Pro Kenny Clark. So I think all things considered, Dallas kind of did well, at least as the return is concerned, but letting, however you want to shake him down, top 3 pass rusher in the league, some may say the best. I don't know what Dallas is doing. I'm glad I picked them 4th in division for the breakdowns, though, but I'm glad it's over. Like I said, all this drama with the NFC East, Scary Terry, Saquon last year, Cowboys, Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons. At least it's to bed. And yes, like Eric mentioned, I can't wait for I believe it's week 4. I'm just going to be hammering Micah Parsons prop bets. But I'm glad this saga is over.
AFC North, this was a question asked off screen, but AFC North is another one that always has contract drama, right? So TJ Watt had the contract drama, Cam Hayward had it, Trey Hendrickson had it, Shamar Stewart had it, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow calling out his franchise. Lamar Jackson, a lot of people don't remember, Lamar Jackson was on the trade block because the Ravens didn't want to pay that man. So that division is, and then Cleveland. Myles Garrett asked for a trade. They traded for Deshaun Watson, fully guaranteed his contract. That's been a fiasco. Shedeur Sanders gets caught speeding twice. Quinshon Judkins remains unsigned. So for the divisions that have the most drama, it's, I would say, the AFC North, but it's not publicized.
I was thinking drama from the sense of we're booting our top players off the team.
Lamar Jackson was on the trade block.
But he got signed.
Yes.
We all saw the Saquon stuff. We've all seen the Micah stuff. Scary Terry was there.
If the New York Giants would have signed Saquon Barkley, the Eagles would have lost the Super Bowl, so I'm all for it. That team is shit. That team is shit. Like, Saquon Barkley gonna die on that squad. He would have never eclipsed 2,000. We would never have seen the backwards hurdle because he would be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. But you guys hear that? Oh shit, they're coming for Jerry Jones, dude. Let's go ahead and get into head-to-head.
All right. So last week was week 33 of the head-to-head. Decent week. Nick went 2-1, which breaks that streak of 1-2, putting him at 37-62, up 32.33 units. Jermaine went 1-2, putting him at 34-65, up 19.57 units. Nevada went 1-2, putting him at 45-54, up 59.49 units. And I went 1-2 as well. Fucking Phillies. 42-57, up 44.24 units. But I got Nevada right where I wanted to, just right in striking distance. And once this 10-leg parlay hits that I got in, it's going to be nice, dude.
I forgot about that massive 10-leg parlay. Would you like to share with the folks what your parlay is that you sent? I guess that was Monday morning, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was Tuesday morning because I was mad Monday morning for different reasons. But so I got Boise State money line, Nebraska money line, UNLV money line, Tennessee money line, Maryland money line, Mississippi State money line, Kentucky money line, Alabama, South Carolina, and Virginia all on the money line. It's plus 933.
Which one are you most scared of?
Honestly, Nebraska. I don't even know why they're in there. Like, Cincinnati's not a pushover program, and Nebraska lost a lot of those good defenders. They transferred out to other bigger schools. So that one, and then also I was reading about it today. Which one was it? South Carolina scares me a little bit against why? What insider trading do you got? Why you got that face on?
I'm just saying, would it surprise you that your very first bet is currently losing and not looking good?
Boise State's losing?
They are.
Dude. It's USF, right? You see it. It's Florida, right?
Yeah. South Florida. They're at half. I believe it's 10-7 or 13-7, something like that.
We'll be all right. I just need the money line. We'll be all right. I have faith.
All right.
I'm not enjoying this new feature that we got going on right now.
That's Eric's parlay getting taken out back.
Back behind the woodshed. Could you imagine if Boise ends up losing this game and you go, 9-0 the rest of the way?
I'll be dead.
Dramatic.
Okay.
The longest odds of a parlay is the nail in the coffin. Oh, that's funny, dude. Also, Nick winning 2 bets. What the hell is that about?
He cheated. I don't know how he cheated.
Do we know if he made those actual bets or if somebody made them for him and then he just sent them in?
AI is getting really good, dude.
Yeah. We're going to have to check on that.
All right. So no PCP today. So Nevada, take it away.
Okie dokie. Let me pull up here we go. Your first entry into today's Blind Five is the Kachucks.
Ooh.
Brothers who've won championships. No.
Oh, because Brady hasn't won one.
Yeah.
I do love me some Kachuk brothers, but I don't want to start hot, bro. And also, like, if he gives me other sibling duos like the Currys, I'm putting them over the Kachucks. Or is it sons of former athletes?
I think you can't. You just gotta baseline it at 3 and then hope.
I'm all right with them at 3, so we'll take 3 Nevada.
Yeah.
Kachucks at 3. Next up is going to be
Nunchucks.
Yes. Next up are going to be the Holidays.
Drew, Justin, and Aaron? Or are you talking about the baseball holidays?
Baseball Holidays.
I ain't really done shit, so I don't have any I'm down with 5.
Yeah, they're they've been getting called down to the minors and stuff.
No, the one for the O's is back with them on the main roster, right?
Oh, he stayed up?
Yeah, he came up late last year, and I'm sure he's still on the squad, but I ain't checked that. And then obviously little bro just got drafted, so he ain't done anything yet. Great
in 10
story.
years we can revisit this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Jackson Holiday's been up for basically the season. He's had 124 games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He got called up at the beginning of last year, kind of stunk, and then got sent down. So
my mind is still on last year, I guess. Then.
So they didn't lose control on him. And then they called him up later, so that way he wouldn't, so they didn't fuck his years in service or whatever. Anyways.
All right. Next up is going to be the Earnhardts.
Wait. Sons of Dale?
I think he's just talking about sports families at this point.
So Dale and
father and son that played, right?
Who are the Earnhardts? Who are we considering the Earnhardts? Is a better question, I guess.
Dale and Dale Jr.?
That's what I'm asking. I don't know why Nevada won't answer it.
Well, if I end up telling you the Earnhardts, yes, Dale, the Dales.
Is Dale Sr. in it?
Well, that kind of ruins it, but yes, Dale Sr. is part of the Earnhardts.
So it is fathers and sons that played in the same sport.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, we're already all over it. I'm going number 1.
Oof.
Come on now, don't do that.
Over the Currys?
Yeah.
I bet. I mean,
I think you forget how big Dale Earnhardt was.
I didn't know shit about NASCAR growing up, but I knew who Dale Earnhardt was.
Yeah.
That's how big he was.
That's how big he was. Yeah, exactly.
I'm cool with one. Cool with one.
Because, like,
all right,
Seth and Dale. So what?
Hey,
Dale
Seth
Jr.
is a Sixer.
I respect it. He was also a Maverick, your 2 favorite teams.
Yeah.
But like Dell and Seth, like whatever. Steph Curry is fucking amazing. Sure, he'll probably be a top 10 basketball player when all is said and done, but I'm still taking Dale and Dale Jr. Those were wildly successful and like it's separate of each other.
And Dale Sr. did use number 3, and that's the best number in sports. So
fair enough.
I'll take it.
Fair enough. All right. Next.
Ready. Next up are going to be the Matthews.
Oh, that was a bunch of them too.
Clay Matthews and his dad?
The same clan.
Okay. Bro, because I'm pretty sure there's a Matthews family in the NBA, so I'm just making sure. I'm going 4. Right. I'm going 4. They never played for my team, but I did have love for Clay Matthews, even though he played for USC.
He's gonna hit us with the Mannings and upset me right now.
And then at number 2, yes, you do have the Mannings.
Yeah, it should have been number 1.
Yeah, it should have been number 1. That's all right.
well, to not have Steph Curry's family on this list is bonkers. He hit me with some Rockies nepotism here. But we ain't got
it's his list, dude.
We ain't got the great. No, it's our list. We're the one who put it together. He just gave us names.
No, I mean it's his category though. You know he can.
Fuck that.
All right, bet.
I think I may have made it. I think I may have made it after Jackson Holiday got drafted, and they're talking about all the signing bonuses and stuff. I was like, man, that's like one of the starting to become like the first family of baseball of recent memory. And then I was like, what other sport families are there? And then I just knocked like 5 of them off the top of my head. I was like, there we go.
And you forgot Curry?
Didn't cross my mind in the moment.
Hey, he's a little racist. Wait, shit. They're all white, right? The
Who's
Matthews, the Holidays, the Mannings, the Bernhards.
They're all white, rich men. You're right, Eric.
I don't know,
if this
man.
is a different podcast, you might have an issue.
Have you seen Arch's swag, dude?
Yeah, he's black.
That's because he grew up in
New Orleans.
No, not New Orleans.
Where?
He grew up in Louisiana. It wasn't New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
He was
okay,
yeah. New Orleans adjacent, sure.
Okay,
yeah,
Hurricane baby.
But I think they lived in like Shreveport or Baton Rouge or something like that.
That's what I'm gonna call him all season long, the Hurricane baby.
I don't care. He loved Vince Young, so he's got a soft spot in my heart. That's why he plays like Vince Young. A lot of people don't say it because everyone gets confused by skin color, and they will never. If it's a white receiver, he gets comped to a white receiver. If it's a white corner, oh, he's like Jason Sehorn, even though his gang could actually be like Nnamdi Asomugha, but they won't call it because everyone gets blinded by race. ESPN always be talking about race, dude. The Nnamdi Asomugha pool,
yeah,
that boy was a dog, bro.
You just mentioned like four Eagles from that 2010 busted year: Vince Young, Nnamdi Asomugha. I repeat them twice because of how bad the year was. Dude, it was horrible.
Since we're on the horns talk real quick, would you like a fun little betting nugget?
Always. This is a betting podcast.
Okay. So there's going to be 4 criteria, and then I'll tell you the record. So the opponent is Texas. The team is ranked. The team is ranked equal or lower than 16. The team's spread is greater than -7. This season is higher than 2010. The opponent is ranked. The team spread is less than 7.5, and the over/under total is set at more than 45 points. Texas is 0-17 against the spread since 2010, when all those criteria are met.
Well, this ain't 2010 no more, dog. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's the defending champs, so it's like they're the dog. Like, why? If Texas loses, why would anyone be shocked? Is it because they've been gassing up Arch Manning like that?
I don't think anybody's going to be surprised which team wins. I think the only surprise is if one of them blows the other out.
Oh, for sure.
That's the only surprise I see. But it's good 1-2 matchup to start the season. Should do more of that. You hear us, NCAA? More of that. Every opening weekend. Do it.
It's all these scared ass schools that don't want to pick big schools to play against early on.
Yeah, Texas has never been afraid. We've scheduled Notre Dame as our opener for 2 years. It was 2 years, like in the last 8 years. We have Ohio State this year, and then what sucks is we don't play Ohio State next year in Texas. We play them in 3 years in Texas. So Arch won't be there. Colin Simmons won't be there. Williams from Ohio State won't be there. So it's like all these kids that could have had 3 games against each other, right, of 2 of the best teams in college football right now. They could have played a rubber match if Texas gets this win. But all those kids are going to be gone. still be fire in 3 years when Texas plays.
Yeah, it'll still probably be a top 10 matchup.
Yeah, it'll still be fire. I ain't tripping about that. I'm just saying, like, from a storylines perspective, and that's why I watch sports. It's what I get romantic about, right? Like when Joe Flacco started a playoff game for the Cleveland Browns 2 years ago, I was just like, who the fuck saw this in 2023? You know what I mean? Like, Joe Flacco had long been out the league. We called him a statue, couldn't move. Now he's just a grumpy 40-year-old man who don't get none of the young kids' references. Everyone seems to love him. So I was hyped that Joe Flacco came back. So, but for that,
oh boy.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the anything else you guys want to talk about before I move us into the final segment?
I don't think there's been any other big pop culture entertainment news, so I think we're good. I think we're good to go.
Sick. All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, so we're talking about the AFC South today. Last year's finish was the Texans 10-7 at first at 10-7. Next, the Indianapolis Colts second at 8-9. Jacksonville Jaguars third at 4-13, and Tennessee Titans fourth at 3-14. They do have the Texans finishing first again this year, predicted. Plus 3,500 for the Super Bowl, plus 115 to win this division, minus 135 to make the playoffs, plus 115 to miss the playoffs, and their win total is set at 9.5. And let's switch it to this one now. Boom, there you go, Jermaine.
All right, so this is a long list here, buddy.
Yeah.
The Houston Texans were getting active this offseason. They re-signed Mario Edwards, Derek Barnett, Foley Fatukasi, MJ Stewart, Miles Bryant, Irv Smith, and Dalton Keene. Free agency, they signed left tackle Cam Robinson from the Vikings, Sheldon Rankins, D lineman from the Bengals, Darrell Taylor, linebacker from the Bears, Laken Tomlinson, guard from the Seahawks, EJ Speed, linebacker from the Colts, Traymon Smith, corner from the Broncos, Nick Neiman, linebacker from the Chargers, Nick Chubb, running back, Browns, Justin Watson, wide receiver, Chiefs, Trenton Brown, right tackle, Bengals, Ronald Darby, corner, Jacksonville, Braxton Berrios, wide receiver, Miami, Casey Toohill, Ed. All right. He's an edge defender for Buffalo. Corner, Arthur Mollett from Baltimore. Corner, Jalen Mills from the Jets. Connor McDermott, tackle from the Rams. Marlon Davidson, D lineman from the Titans. Jawan Winfrey, wide receiver from the Colts. Noticeable departures. Stephon Diggs joined the Patriots. Eric Murray joined the Jaguars. Jeff Okudah joined the Vikings. Case Keenum, the Bears. Delshon Phillips, the Chargers. Robert Woods, the Steelers. Chris Boyd, the Jets. John Weeks, the 49ers. Kendrick Green, the Bills. Devin White, the Raiders. And Tegan Quitariano joined the Falcons. In the draft, in the second round, they took Jaden Higgins and Ariante Ursery, tackle out of Minnesota. In the third round, they took Jalen Noel and Jalen Smith, wide receiver and corner, respectively. In the fourth, they took Woody Marks, running back. In the sixth, they took Jalen Reed, safety, and Graham Mertz, quarterback. And in the seventh, they took Keontae Hamilton, defensive tackle, and Luke Lackley, tight end. Trades, I can't get to load right now. So if you have those, Eric, go ahead.
So just noticeable players they traded. They acquired Christian Kirk from the Jaguars for a seventh. They traded away Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders for a second, for a 26 second, 26 fourth, 25 third, which turned into Jalen Noel, and 25 seventh, which they don't show what pick. Then they also traded for Chauncey Gardner from the Eagles, and they gave us Kenyon Green. They acquired Ed Ingram, guard from the Minnesota Vikings, for 2026 6. And then I don't think they have any. Oh, they traded John Mechie to the Eagles for tight end Harrison Bryant, and they traded away Austin Deculus, right tackle, to the Chargers for a 27-7.
Hold on 1 second, Nevada. Before you get into that, Houston Texans had a coaching change. They fired, I forgot, Bobby Slovic. And they replaced him with Nick Caley. Just go ahead, Nevada.
The Texans will open up in LA against the Rams. Then they'll be home to host the Bucks. Then they'll go into Jacksonville before they host the Titans, and then go into Baltimore. And then they will have a week 6 early bye week before they go up to play against Seattle. Then they'll be home against the 49ers and the Broncos and the Jags. Then they'll go into Tennessee. Then they'll come home to host the Bills. Then they'll go visit the Colts and the Chiefs before they come home to host the Cardinals and the Raiders, and then finish it out against the Chargers in LA and home against the Colts.
You got the strength of schedule, Art?
Yeah, sorry. Give me 1 second here.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting schedule, especially for a team that's in kind of a state of flux, right? It's not the hardest. It's not the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
They got some winnable games, but I just think the Colts are going to be much better than people think. Jacksonville's going to be much better than people think. So if they split that 3-3.
So they have the 17th at 481.
All right. Rams, Bucks, Ravens, 49ers, Broncos, Bills, Chiefs. Whew.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot going on right there. That's actually a lot harder. Thoughts on that, Nevada?
Yeah, I think Houston's gonna have a tough time. We'll see how the offense does with the new OC. But part of that offense is that they need to be more consistent, particularly Joe Mixon, who is out. Did I hear correctly? It's the first 4 weeks.
He's on PUP, so he's out minimum 4 weeks. That doesn't mean he's for sure coming back.
Right. Which is big because he carried that team a lot of the part of the year. And I loved it because he was on my fantasy team. However, at the end of the year, I hated him on my fantasy team because him and Nico Collins essentially more or less disappeared, particularly from where their levels had been for most of the season. So those two in particular need to be more consistent to really carry the offense. The defense needs some more prolific pass rush. Hopefully Will Anderson takes that another step. So that way the defense can be a little bit more stingy. And then CJ Stroud, I think we talked about it last year, or at least I mentioned it. Even though he kind of got a bad rap last year as far as like a sophomore slump, we also have to keep in mind his stellar freshman year with the Texans where he just lit it up. And they obviously need to have better offensive line protection, which doesn't help when they traded away Laramie Tunsil. I don't know if you guys had seen the stat, but in the Super Bowl, Mahomes was pressured on 38% of dropbacks, which was his 5th highest rate in his career. And we all remember how Mahomes did. For the entire season, Stroud was pressured an average of 39.5% and faced a 51.4 pressure rate in the divisional round against KC. And despite those numbers against KC, he still threw for almost 300 yards and no turnovers.
That was CJ Stroud playing football last year.
Yeah. So I think there'll be a little bit of a bounce back. Obviously, losing Joe Mixon for at least the first quarter is going to sting. Nico Collins, I love Nico Collins, but if he's got to be consistent to be considered one of the top flight guys in the league. And we mentioned it.
When he's healthy, he balls out, though.
Right.
He just missed time last year, which is why CJ Stroud struggled.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it. That schedule is pretty brutal. I think going into this year, my expectation is they'll be more like they were last year than Stroud's first year. I think they'll be closer to that kind of team rather than the team of 2 years ago.
What do you think's happening at the running back position? So Joe Mixon's obviously gone. Do you think Nick Chubb has still got it? Are you confident in Dameon Pierce? Does Woody Marks excite you?
No, I would like to say that Nick Chubb could do it because he's shown to be a athletic medical freak, but he blew out his knee, not like an ACL. He literally blew it out. I can't remember if he blew all three of them out, but I know it was two, plus I think one of the – can't remember if it was the LCL or the MCL was like severely sprained as a result of that injury he had a couple of years ago. It's going to be running back committee because Nick Chubb's not in a condition where he can be the 3 down back. I think those days are behind him, especially after that injury. So hopefully for their sake, Mixon is just a 4-week absence.
Yeah, I don't like what I'm hearing with Mixon coming out of here. So give me a percentage chance, Eric, that Nick Chubb regains form.
15.
All right.
Oh,
Nevada.
So if 100% was old Nick Chubb, I'd give him at top end 40.
No. Percentage chance that he regains that form, right? So not like that he is a 1,500-yard rusher again, right? Like
right.
What's the likelihood, the odds, the percentage chance, right? So odds, right? We're a betting podcast. Yeah. What are the odds? 1 in 8, 1 in 7, 15%, however you want to frame it, right?
That he returns to his former glory.
Right. That he's a, let's say, 1,200-yard rusher, 7 or 8 touchdowns this year, right?
Yeah, 25% at best.
Oh, you guys are way higher. I'm going to have to look into some Nick Chubb shares. You guys are way higher than I thought you'd be because you guys are eternal pessimists, right? Like making the Super Bowl is a bad season for you guys. So like, oh, you didn't win it. I was just like, bitch, we were 1 of 2 teams. We had a 50-50 shot. We lost a game. But no, dude, that's higher than I thought. There's a combination of question marks. But sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm concerned with the massive knee blowout, but I buoy it with he is an athletic freak. So that is the one part of me that holds out some hope, but I would not bet that he gets back to his former self.
I'm honestly, I asked that question because I'm rooting for it. Because I was long the largest Nick Chubb fan because he was balling out and his team sucks and nobody knew about him. But I was just like, this dude is averaging like 5.5 yards per carry behind me, Nevada, Nick, and Eric blocking. They decided to not play a 5th offensive lineman some snaps, and he was still getting 5.5. Like, I would love for that to be a story this year, especially like in a running back market where we don't value them, where they're old, where this, that, and the other. Nick Chubb, 31-year-old Nick Chubb comes out and just has, a solid, if unspectacular season, right? He just averages 60 yards a game. He averages like half a touchdown a game for the season. But like accumulation would put him at like over 1,000 easily, right? And 8 to 9 touchdowns. And you're just like, Nick fucking Chubb's that dude. That's what I would love to happen.
Sure.
The offensive line, I don't know how to take it. I like the additions they made to the offensive line, and then they got rid of a bunch of guys, right?
Right.
The offensive coordinator, the way his system runs, right? If he's not running a zone blocking scheme, maybe it's a gap concept, and these guys are more comfortable playing in a gap scheme. That could change everything, right? Because Bobby Slowick was running the Shanahan Kubiak, right? you're very familiar as a Broncos fan. Like, he was wearing that outside stretch zone. We're going to pull guards. And it didn't seem like anybody was very good at it. And Kenyon Green, Eric broke the news to me this week, right? That he got cut from you guys after the trade for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, he got cut.
So their first round pick from 2-3 years ago wasn't even good enough for Stoutland U, as Eric likes to phrase it. So I've got question marks. Fortunately for them, the rest of the division is suspect. 9.5 feels too high. This feels like a 10-win team. And because of that, one game I think they're winning goes the other way. All of a sudden, it's a 9-win team. I'll take the under. And I'm gonna wait till the end to make my decision. So this is the last division. So we got to lock in AFC this week. So I have Baltimore and Pittsburgh making the postseason. I have Kansas City and the Vegas Raiders. I've got Buffalo and New England. So I only need one from this division. Very comfortable with that. Very comfortable with that. The Raiders are going to burn me. I already know it, but I went out on a limb. Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, rest of that team. I think it's good enough to win some ball games. So, give me the under and I'll decide later. Let's go ahead and get into the next team. Or actually, Eric, give us your 1 minute on Houston.
I don't know. I think sophomore slump. He'll get better, hopefully. New coaching system, a lot of weapons. In the receiving room, and they have just an animal of a human being. I don't know. This division's up for grabs, dude. I think they're going to take it, but I don't know. No, actually, I don't think they're going to take it. I have somebody else winning the division, so no, they're not going to make the playoffs.
That was Eric's heart beating real fast because he had to talk.
I'm prepping for the next. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get Nevada's picks, and then we got to move on.
All right, Nevada, give us your picks.
I'm kind of on the fence with the Jermaine was with the over under. I think just based on how hard that schedule is on paper, I'm going to go under. I think they'll sneak in right there at like 9-8, but I wouldn't be surprised if they also go 10-7. I'm not committed on them for the division though.
All right. Boom. Moving into last year's third place team, projected to finish second this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars, plus 8,000 for the Super Bowl, plus 260 to win the division, plus 155 to make the playoffs, minus 190 to miss the playoffs. And their over-under is set at 7.5.
Yeah, so Jacksonville fired their coaching staff and replaced him with head coach Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers system. Grant Udensky comes in to fulfill the offensive coordinator role for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Anthony Campanale is the D coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go ahead and get into additions and subtractions. In the offseason, the Jaguars did not retain anyone from their existing roster. They went out and added Patrick Bakari, guard center from Baltimore, Diami Brown, wide receiver from the Commanders, Jordan Ludus, quarterback from the Dallas Cowboys, Robert Haney, center from the Buccaneers, Eric Murray, free safety from the Texans, Chuma Udoga, tackle from the Boys, Emmanuel Ogba, edge defender from the Dolphins, Johnny Munt, tight end from the Vikings, Hunter Long, tight end from the Rams, Nick Mullins, quarterback from the Vikings, Gennis Gardeck, edge defender from the Cardinals, Dwayne Smoot, edge defender from the Bills, Fred Johnson, tackle from the Eagles, and Quentin Morris, tight end from the Bills. They relinquished Evan Ingram to the Broncos, Andre Cisco to the Jets, Luke Farrell and Mac Jones to the 49ers, Josh Reynolds to the Jets, Ronald Darby to the Texans, Tim Jones to the Vikings, Jeremiah Ledbetter to the Giants, Devin Duvernay to the Bears, Blake Hance to the Titans, Josiah DeGuara to the Cardinals, Caleb Johnson, the linebacker variety to the Falcons, Joe Giles Harris to the Bengals, Ezi Otomo to the edge defender to the Steelers, and Dearness Johnson running back to the Ravens. As far as the draft goes, the Jacksonville Jaguars were active. They moved up to acquire Travis Hunter with a number 2 overall pick. In the 3rd round, they took Caleb Ransall, cornerback, out of Tulane, and guard Wyatt Milam out of West Virginia. In the 4th, they took running back Byshal Tootin from Virginia Tech and Jack Kaiser from Notre Dame. Round 6, they took Jalen McLeod, linebacker out of Auburn, Rayuan Lane, the 3rd safety out of Navy. Let's go, boys. Midshipman, Jonah Monheim, center out of Southern California, and LaQuint Allen, running back out of Syracuse, rounds out their 7th round picks. As far as trades go, they traded Christian Kirk to the Jaguars for a 7th. They traded Christian Kirk to the Texans for a 7th. They traded Luke Fortner, center, to the Saints for Kalen Saunders. They traded a 7th round pick for Fred Johnson, left tackle from the Eagles. And they also traded a 6th round pick for Tim Patrick, wide receiver.
Just to clarify there, Fred Johnson joined them in free agency. And then for some reason we traded back for him. So we actually got him back from the Jaguars for a 7th.
Oh, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Boom.
All right. The Jags open up at home against Knicks Cats. Then they will go into Cincinnati before coming home to host the Texans. Then they'll travel to the West Coast to play the 49ers. Then they'll be home against the Chiefs and the Seahawks. Then they will be home away from home in London against the Rams before they have a week 8 bye week. Then they will go to Vegas against the Raiders, and then Houston against the Texans, come home for a week against the Chargers, then go back on the road against the Cardinals and the Titans, come home against the Colts and the Jets. Then they'll go to Denver and Indianapolis and finish out at home against the Tennessee Titans.
Sorry. The schedule is not too bad. Not super terrible, not super great. Eric, what's the strength?
It is 24th, 467.
All right, let's do something different here. Eric, give us your 1 minute on Jacksonville.
My 1 minute on Jacksonville? Man,
Well,
this is I think it's
hard.
why you gotta fuck with me? No, I think the new head coach is gonna be tight. For fantasy users out there, keep in mind this dude named Etienne had 1,300 plus scrimmage yards on his 2 healthy seasons, and they just brought in a head coach that's gonna use him that way. Trevor Lawrence, is he a bust? I think this is a make it or prove it year, or make it or break it year. I don't know, man. I've gone sour on the kid. I don't expect much, but I do think if he lives up to the potential, with Brian Thomas Jr. down there and them boys, I think they can honestly win the division, but it's just so much has to go right for them. I'm not really confident in that.
DeBatter, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Oh, you can go first. That's fine.
Give me the over 7.5. Yes, you make the playoffs and division winner. Trevor Lawrence is a damn good quarterback from an NFL perspective, right? Everyone conflates fantasy with actual performance on the field. When Trevor Lawrence is healthy, he is a very good quarterback. He gets the win. I've seen him do it. I've seen him beat the top 5 quarterback, Justin Herbert, to some pundits in the playoffs by coming back and storming back to beat that man with nobody. They just added Travis Hunter. They went out and added Diami Brown to be a 3rd or 4th wide receiver, depending on how you view Parker Washington. They replaced Evan Ingram with their 2nd-round tight end, Brenton Strange. Their offensive line is decent. I like their running back approach by committee. We just saw what he did with Bucky Irving and Rashad White and Sean Tucker. Now he has Byshal Tootin, Tank Bigsby, and Travis Etienne. So I like what they did there. The defense should be good, and they play in a pretty bad division. And I'm expecting the Liam Cohen effect, the same way that we saw Bryce Young ball out confidently at the end of last year when Dave Canales took over that team. I'm expecting the same thing for Trevor Lawrence. When Trevor Lawrence is healthy, he delivers. As long as they keep Trevor Lawrence healthy, they will have a damn good team. 7.5 is too low. 7.5 is too low. And they're going to be one of the most exciting teams to watch because of Trevor Lawrence, because of Travis Hunter, because of breakout star Brian Thomas Jr. from last year out of LSU. I like what they did here. I like the philosophy from top down. I like the offensive coordinator and the scheme that he's going to run, that he's bringing over from Tampa Bay. I think it's tailor-made for this team. Short, quick passes to Brenton Strange and Travis Hunter, deep balls to Brian Thomas, in routes over the middle for Brian Thomas, and Trevor Lawrence is good enough to hit all those. If Calvin Ridley could catch last year, was it last year? 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Trevor Lawrence would have had extraordinary numbers. So I'm in on this Jacksonville Jaguars team. I like that Liam Cohen pick. I like that he's so nerdy and he still tried to do their Duval. I just did it terribly. And I like that everyone gives him crap for that, because this is the same thing we did to Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell was talking about biting kneecaps and drinking 50 ounces of coffee from Starbucks. He gets one of those to-go containers. He's just walking around sipping it with a straw, like, because he's a maniac. Liam Cohen gives me the same vibes. I like what they did with their young GM and the approach that they took to the draft. They went and got a elite playmaker on both sides of the ball with their pick. I'm in on this team. So for that reason, 7.5 is too low, and this division's just bad. So I'm going to take Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay. I couldn't say much more than what Jermaine already said. I got them, over 7.5. I'll take them for my division. I think Liam is I think he's more in line of the Mike McDaniels of a couple years ago, where it's just this weird, goofy, nerdy white dude. But we saw the success that Tampa had with him. Obviously, Baker Mayfield flourished. I don't see any reason why Trevor Lawrence shouldn't. But we've kind of said that a few years in a row. But I think this one should be different as far as a more consistent quarterback. I agree with Jermaine. The running back by committee I think will be very beneficial for them between Tank, ETN, and Tootin. I like it. I think their tight end room leaves a little bit to be desired, but that could just be because they lost Ingram. Obviously, he would have been the lead horse in that room, but it is what it is. I think they're going to rely on that wide receiver room, which might be one of the more underrated wide receiver rooms in the league. Jermaine touched on Brian Thomas Jr., who probably would have been the best, or talked about as the best rookie wide receiver if it weren't for some guy up in New York. You get Travis Hunter, who I think he's going to have a learning curve as a wide receiver in the NFL, because in college it was kind of more backyard football rules, but I don't doubt that he'll figure it out. The dude's a freak athlete. Diami Brown, same thing. He did well in Washington, was just buried in the depth chart. And I think their defense is probably one of the most underrated in the league. Their secondary may have some issues here and there, but they do have a couple guys back there that can lead them. Yeah, and Jordan Lewis. But I mean, when your front seven includes Devin Lloyd, Olakon, Trayvon Walker, Eric Armstead, Josh Hines-Allen, that's a pretty solid front seven, kind of like what I talked about with the Giants. So I think this is a prime opportunity for Jacksonville to capitalize on a quote-unquote weaker schedule than what Houston has, and with some offensive excitement from Liam Cohen to put up some good numbers and snatch that division.
Yeah, I like what they're doing down there. I think for the first time in a minute, Jacksonville kind of has like a clear and cohesive attack for once. But I mean, Eric's not wrong. This could go south easily.
Yep. It very well could.
It very well could. And then we're making fun of Liam Cohen for his Duval for an entirely different reason. But for right now, I think I'm comfortable taking it. And I just don't think Jacksonville was a 4-13 team last year. I just think they had a ton of bad luck. They had no injury luck. And they just added a dynamic player that can impact both sides of the ball. And that's actually what I foresee him doing. Do I think he does it at the levels that, everyone's talking about? Maybe not, but he's going to be very good at football. So that's all I got for Jacksonville. Division winner, no big deal.
All right. So last year's second place team, Indianapolis Colts, projected to finish third this year, plus 12,000 for the Super Bowl, plus 380 to win this division, plus 200 to make the playoffs, minus 250 to miss the playoffs. Their over-under is 7.5. Here you go, Jermaine.
Yeah, so just before we get into it, they had one change. They fired their defensive coordinator, and they brought in Lou Anarumo, pretty well-respected DC within the league. So the Indianapolis Colts re-signed Ashton Doolin, Mo Alley Cox, Danny Pinter, wide receiver, tight end, center, respectively. They also re-signed David Long twice, according to this list, to play both cornerbacks. They brought in Travarius Ward from San Francisco, great pickup. They brought in Cameron Bynum, free safety from the Vikings, and Daniel Jones, quarterback as well from the Vikings. Neville Gallimore, D lineman, joined from the Rams. Corey Ballantyne, corner from the Packers. Khalil Herbert, running back from the Bengals. Spencer Schrader, kicker from the Chiefs. And Joe Bocci, linebacker from the Bengals. They lost Will Fries and Ryan Kelly, guard and center, respectively, to the Minnesota Vikings. They lost Deo Adeyinbo, edge defender, to the Bears. Matt Gay, kicker, to the Commanders. Joe Flacco to the Browns. EJ Speed to the Texans. Julian Blackman, strong safety, to the Saints. Kylan Granson, tight end, to the Eagles. Grant Stewart, linebacker, to the Lions. Taven Bryan, D lineman, to the Bengals. Quarterback Sam Ehlinger to the Broncos. Ronnie Harrison, safety, to the Falcons. Trey Sermon, running back, to the Steelers. And Juwan Winfrey, wide receiver, to the Texans. In the draft, in the first round with pick 14, they took tight end Tyler Warren. They took DN JT Tiumulo in the second round. In the third round, they took quarterback Justin Wally. In the fourth round, they took tackle Jalen Travis. In the fifth round, they took running back DJ Giddens. In the sixth round, they took Riley Leonard and Tim Smith, quarterback and defensive tackle, respectively, in back-to-back picks. And they rounded out their draft class with Hunter Waller, safety, out of Wisconsin. Trades. They only made one of note. They traded Mekhi Blackman, corner, to the Minnesota Vikings for a 2026 sixth.
The Colts will open up at home against the Dolphins and the Broncos. Then they will play on the road against the Titans and the Rams. Then they'll come home against the Raiders and the Cardinals. Then they'll go and play the Chargers in LA before coming home against the Titans. Then they'll go to Pittsburgh, and then they will have a home game in Berlin against the Falcons. Then they'll have a bye week 11. Then they'll go into Arrowhead against the Chiefs. Then they'll be home against the Texans, on the road against the Jags and the Seahawks, and then at home against the 49ers and the Jags before finishing out in Houston against the Texans.
Yeah, so this was my initial team that I wanted to come in here and take for the division. I just couldn't agree to taking the Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, will they, won't they journey for a division winner. And for that reason, I kind of chickened out. But 7.5 is a great line. I will take the over, and I'll take no to make the playoffs. And I will obviously take no's across the board. Look, I think I may be one of the few people who thinks this. I've been saying it for years. I think Daniel Jones is better than people give him credit for. There's a reason why people all over the league wanted to take Daniel Jones and add them to their roster this offseason. And I think Daniel Jones picked Indianapolis specifically because A, Shane Steichen runs a fantastic offensive scheme, and B, he knew he could beat out Anthony Richardson. And so far, he's 1 for 1 on those two things, right? So Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Adonai Mitchell, Alec Pierce, whoever lines up on that outside spot. They added Tyler Warren. They've been looking for a tight end since Dallas Clark left, like desperately. They have tried literally everybody they possibly could to fill that tight end role since Dallas Clark left, it feels like. And they got themselves a dog in Tyler Warren. And I think that is going to be the ultimate security blanket for Daniel Jones and then offense. And then we're not even like the offensive line lost people, but it's still very good. It's still very good. And Jonathan Taylor and DJ Giddens are a pretty good 1-2 combo to have coming out of your backfield. I mean, anytime you start with Jonathan Taylor, like you're not hurting. So from the offensive side of the football, they've done very good. My concern stems from they're currently in flux on defense, right? I mentioned that they added Amarumo to be a defensive coordinator. His system is different than the system they ran before, and do they have the players to play that? I honestly think that he'll be just fine. He's going to adapt, and he'll play probably a more risky kind of defense with the lack of star talent that they have on that side of the ball. It's still a solid unit. The Charvarius Ward pickup is fantastic from the corner department. They still have DeForest Buckner on that D line. I think this team's a lot better than most people do think. I just am not hitching my wagon to the quarterback department. And I know that the coach came out and said that Daniel Jones is the starter. We've heard it before. We've seen people say that about Daniel Jones specifically. So there is a world that we live in where Daniel Jones implodes and he has to put Anthony Richardson in. And this coach in Shane Steichen and the GM in Ballard are fighting for their lives, to quote R. Kelly. So I'm just not confident that they will stick with Daniel Jones for a 17-game season. So that's where I'm going. I do like the over still. I think this team's talented enough to get the dub.
I'll just ask both of you just a simple question. Does Daniel Jones finish the season as the starting quarterback for the Colts?
Yes.
I'm going with yes, but I will not bet it.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I will pick yes, but I ain't betting it.
I'll bet it all day. Your picks?
Yeah, is 7.5 correct? That's what I heard.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, I don't know with this team.
They won it last year, if that helps.
Yeah, really, for me, it's the quarterback because I don't know if Daniel Jones finishes as the starter. Whether it's a Danny Dimes implosion, kind of like Jermaine mentioned, or if it's just one of those things where it's, hey, as the GM and head coach, our nuts are on the table here. Let's go back to Anthony Richardson. We drafted him for a reason. I don't know if Richardson is done in Indy. I mean, what was that? I can't remember what week it was.
Overall. It's crazy.
I know, but what week was it? It was early in the season, if I'm not mistaken, and he's running down the field, tapping out.
He asked for a blow.
You don't think that doesn't put a nasty sour taste in the franchise's mouth?
I think that's when the Colts were done with him.
I know that, and the only reason I think they still hold on to him is because he's in his third-year contract,
and he's 22 years old or 21 years old still somehow.
And you spent the 4th overall pick on him. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I agree, and I think that's why they may end up going back to him. But I think Steichen and Ballard, again, if this season does not turn out somewhat decent, their nuts very well could be on the chopping block. So they may end up going back to Richardson, whether they want to or not. Tyler Warren, Jermaine mentioned it. If just a playmaker at tight end, I'll be curious to see how he gets integrated into the offense. Is he going to be as used as widely as he was at Penn State? Or are they going to try to narrow down his responsibilities a bit? I don't know. Maybe he's the quarterback at the end of the season. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Defense is okay. They got some players here and there, but again, like Jermaine said, there's a lot of changes being made from a schematic standpoint. It may take a year or so for them to really start to implement the changes they want to. So I don't have them for the division.
You're just not in the division.
Yeah, they're just gonna fold. I think just because I don't trust the quarterback room, I'm gonna go under. I think they're gonna be a 7-10 team.
It's a great line.
Yeah, it's right there. If it was 6.5, I'd have over all day, but 7.5 is they could get a game that waffles their way here and there, but I'll take the under for now.
If Daniel Jones does not get hurt, I believe he's the quarterback all year long. And Daniel Jones, healthy, has led a shitty New York Giants team to the playoffs with considerably less weapons. It was him and Saquon and just running for their lives, trying to score touchdowns themselves, right? Like,
yeah.
So I just think that maybe I'm blind, and maybe I should put my love for not love. Let's not get too excited.
Admiration.
I just think Daniel Jones is just a better quarterback than people often think. Everyone loves to quote the one where he trips in the open field.
Turf they also gets everybody.
It's happened to a ton of players, first of all. And first, I'm not saying don't do it. It's funny as hell. But the dude was breaking away from a defense as a 6'5", 250, just sprinting downfield. The man is crazy athletic.
Yeah.
So he can run just like Anthony Richardson can.
Right.
And he's a much more reliable passer from that perspective. And he's won a playoff game. This is a quarterback who's been around the block, who has seen and done things in the National Football League, who had a competition for his services this offseason. And when he was released, when he asked for his release, had a competition for his services then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, the NFL is telling me that they value Daniel Jones more than the average bear, right, on Twitter values Daniel Jones. And for that reason, I just think 8 wins. They got 8 wins last year. And basically, that's my barometer. Set under is a fantastic pick just as much because this team is fucking crazy. But that's where I'm going. Let's go ahead and get in. Give us your 1 minute on the Colts.
I have winning the division. I believe in Daniel Jones. I think he's got a plethora of weapons, a decent offensive line, and I really like those the defensive moves they made to add that safety from Minnesota and Ward from San Francisco. Again, weak division. If there was a stronger team here, maybe I wouldn't do this, but I Steichen placed in my heart forever. He was the OC for that. What was it? 22 Super Bowl
loser squad.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Anyway, and then got love for him. I think he's really good at coaching football. I believe in Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones makes it all the way healthy, I do believe they win the division. If they call up Anthony Richardson, you can book him for last. That dude cannot play football. He doesn't deserve to be in the NFL.
Doesn't deserve.
Doesn't deserve. All right, next we're moving into the last season. They finished 4th last year at 3-14.
Unnecessary stats.
Predicted to finish 4th again this year. The Tennessee Titans plus 20,000 for the Super Bowl, plus 650 to win the division, plus 370 to make the playoffs, minus 500 to miss the playoffs. Over under line set at 5.5. There we go.
Tennessee Titans are a bad football team, so it's no surprise to see that they were motherfucking active. They re-signed Sebastian Joseph, D lineman. They re-signed strong safety Quandre Diggs. They re-signed Justin Hardy, corner, Corey Levin, center, and Justin Hardy again. It's a strange tactic these AFC South teams are doing. I think he can only play one spot, but all right.
Bold move.
And then they signed James Lynch, son of John Lynch, defensive lineman, re-signed. And they re-signed Julius Chestnut, running back for the Tennessee Titans. I'm just kidding. For those of you listening, that's not actually John Lynch's son. They brought in Dan Moore, tackle from Pittsburgh, for an exorbitant amount of money. They brought in Kevin Zeitler, guard from Detroit. They brought in Draymond Jones, D lineman from Seattle, Cody Barton, linebacker from Denver, Tyler Lockett, wide receiver, or the ghost of Tyler Lockett, wide receiver from Seattle, Xavier Words, safety, free safety from the Panthers, Van Jefferson, still kicking around in this league, over from the Steelers, Brandon Allen from the 49ers, Lorenzo Gardner from the Falcons, Johnny Hecker from the Panthers, Blake Hance from the Jaguars, Joey Sly from the Patriots, Tim Boyle from the Giants, Carlos Watkins and Amani Oruwari from the Dallas Cowboys, James Proche from the Browns, Olasima Edu, tackle from the Saints, and Kaliki Hudson from the Browns. They lost this offseason Harold Landry, edge defender to the Patriots, Mason Rudolph, quarterback to the Steelers, Nick Westbrook, Keeney, wide receiver to the Dolphins, Nick Folk, kicker to the Jets, Dylan Radins, tackle to the Saints, Luke Gifford, linebacker to the 49ers, Ryan Stonehouse, punter to the Dolphins, Jerome Baker, edge defender to the Browns, Jack Giddens, linebacker to the Patriots, Nick Vanette, tight end to the Vikings, Chidobe Awuzie, quarterback to the Baltimore Ravens, Daniel Brunskill, center to the Dolphins, Nicholas Petit-Frere, right tackle to the 49ers, Darryl Worley, cornerback to the Commanders, and Marlon Davidson, D lineman to the Texans. In the draft, they had the number 1 overall pick. That's right. They sucked at football last year. So they took Cameron Ward, quarterback out of Miami, 1 overall. In the second round, they traded back and took Alua Wafami Aladejo, defensive end, out of UCLA. I think. Kevin Winston Jr. Out of Penn State, the safety. What a steal in the third round. In the fourth round, they had 3 picks. They took Chimere Dike, Gunnar Helm, and Alec Aomaner, wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver, Florida, Texas, Stanford, respectively, trying to bolster that pass-catching court. In the 5th round, they took Jackson Slater, guard, out of Sacramento State. And in the 6th round, they took Marcus Harris and Khalil Mullings for a corner and running back out of California and Michigan, respectively. From a trades perspective, they made draft day trades. Incorrect. They traded Kenneth Murray, inside linebacker, to the Dallas Cowboys, and a 7th round pick for a 6th round pick.
All righty. The Titans open up in Denver. Then they'll come home against the Rams and the Colts. Then they'll go into Houston. Then they will go to Arizona and I keep wanting to say Oakland, Vegas against the Raiders. Then they'll come home against the Patriots before going on the road against the Titans. Then they'll come home to host the Chargers before a Week 10 bye week. Then they'll be at home still against the Texans and the Seahawks and the Jags before going on the road against the Browns, 49ers, home against the Chiefs and the Saints, and then they'll finish off in Jacksonville.
They have the 29th ranked schedule with a 450 average opponent win percentage.
Nevada, you want to take it?
Let me just, what was the line again, Eric?
5.5.
Crushing the over. I think they got a good guy in Cam Ward, not only from a talent perspective, but from a leadership and quality of person and teammate. I don't know if anybody has seen it, but there was a couple times where he basically ripped into the team, was center of the huddle. Everybody was taking a knee, and he's just trying to really show and develop that leadership skill to say, hey, we got to play up to a standard, and right now we ain't doing it. So I think they're on the right track with him. Obviously, having Calvin Ridley should help. Tyler Lockett hopefully can get some sort of glimmer of the previous year's Tyler Lockett. Tony Pollard, okay, whatever. But they have some decent weapons. The offensive line should be a boost for Cam Ward. I don't see him being a guy that's going to have a lot of issues. You got Dan Moore, Skoronski, who I'm not mistaken was their first first pick last year. Lloyd Cushenberry, a solid centers, and then you bring over Zietler and still have J.C. Latham. That's a pretty darn good O-line.
Latham was last year. Skoronski was the year before that.
Okay. But both very high picks. So it's clear what they're trying to do, and it shows also on the defensive side. Tavondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, who's probably a top 3, if not top 5 interior defensive lineman. Draymond Jones, a solid pass rusher as well. Cody Barton is a tackling machine. Arden Key, L'Jarius Sneed, Amani Hooker, Xavier Woods. They got a lot of people on the defensive side that I think they are trying to build to kind of be the de facto safety blanket for Cam Ward. Obviously, those aren't weapons for him, but something where they can try to maybe let Cam be a little bit more loose and rely on that defense. They got the easiest schedule in the division, obviously finishing dead last in the division and in the league for that matter. 5.5, I think they should crush it. I think this should be a 7-win team. I like where they're going. They got to get some more weapons, but you can't get all your wide receivers and running back in one off season. But I think they are definitely on the right track. And Bill Callahan knows how to coach a team. He's done it before. He's a good coach to have as far as a kind of like a poor man's John Fox, where he can write the team and get them on a winning way, a winning life mindset. Probably not going to take you to the Super Bowl or anything, but he's going to get you on the right track. So I think they're in a good place, and I think they'll easily get over 5.5.
The Tennessee Titans are one of my favorite picks to win the division this year at plus 650 from a betting perspective. Every year we see a team go from worst to first, and this division is not that great, as evidenced by our conversation today, as evidenced by 9.5, 7.5, 7.5, and 5.5 from Vegas odds makers. So, and 650 is the same odds that the Miami Dolphins have of winning their division, and is just a smidge worse than the Dallas Cowboys have of winning their division. Obviously, this was before the Micah Parsons fiasco, so Dallas is probably way worse now. But Vegas is telling you that this team has room for marketed improvement. So 5.5 is a fire line. I'm smashing that. I think Cam Ward is going to come in and cement himself as a damn good quarterback in this league, and is going to probably secure the next 10 years of that position for the Tennessee Titans. Is he going to be an upper echelon, as everyone loves to proclaim, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow? Is he going to be in there? I don't think so. Will he be more of Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, where Justin Herbert really should be in these rankings in that position? Yes, I think Cam Ward will be there. And Calvin Ridley will help hold him down right now. He's got 2 very good pass-catching tight ends. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out between Chig,
Okenro or
Okonru,
something like that.
I always forget his last name because I called him Chig for so long. And then they brought in tight end Gunnar Helm out of Texas, who I think is better than a lot of people give him credit for. He feels very much like a Jason Witten type of tight end, right? He's not going to be electric with speed, but he's going to sit in the right pockets. He's going to make a catch, and then he's going to run for a bunch of yards. You'd be like, that dude's slow. How is he getting that many yards? It's just because he knows how to play football. He's serviceable as an inline blocker. Could stand to get better there. But if healthy, Gunnar Helm should prove to be proved to be beneficial to this team. I like what they did from the wide receiver perspective, right? Alec Ayomanor, Jameer DK, and then in undrafted free agency, they go and get his college safety blanket from Xavier Restrepo to fill that kind of bigger slot type of player. He got cut?
He did.
Oh, so he's on the practice squad.
Yeah, I haven't seen if he got put on the practice squad, but yeah, he was one of the cuts.
Let's see.
Which I think goes to show that his favorite target at Miami wasn't enough to cut it at the NFL level, at least right now, which just goes to show how good Cam Ward was to carry that Miami team.
Yeah, he's on the wide receiver, and he's on the practice squad.
Yeah, figures, but
Cam Ward did a whole lot of damage last year with not a whole lot of talent, if we're really being honest about it, right? Elijah Arroyo might be the only one. Who was the running back they had down there?
Damian Martinez.
He got cut too.
Wow, what a pull, Eric. Good job. Whew.
Damian Martinez got cut from Seattle. So, yeah, that just shows Cam Ward. I like his moxie, his build, his character from his interviews and stuff like that. Now, if he's the same way behind closed doors, who knows, right? Everyone gets so much polished media training that you never really know. But he's saying all the right things, and I think he's going to be an absolute competitor from just like a trying to win every play, every game perspective. And hopefully he does it within the system. But yeah, over 5.5 for me. I think this Tennessee team is going in the right direction.
Yep.
Okay. So you both have the over. You both have Jacksonville winning the division, finishing first. I have you both, obviously, they win the division, they make the playoffs. Well, let's go ahead and fill out the rest of this bracket and then get into our AFC teams that we're locking in for the playoffs. So, Nevada, can you give me your division finishing order, please? You have the Jaguars at first.
I'll go Jags. Well, let's get weird. I'll go Jags, Titans, Texans, Colts.
Titans, Texans, Colts. Okay. And anybody besides we can lock in the playoffs here in a sec. And then Jermaine, you have
I have no for everyone making the playoffs minus the division winner.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Jacksonville first, Indianapolis second, Houston third, and Tennessee fourth.
Cool. All right. So let's go back here. So for the AFC North, I'm just going to read them to you guys. You tell me if you're happy with your choice. We can switch it out. Right now, you both have Baltimore. Jermaine, you have Pittsburgh. Nevada, you have Cincinnati. How are we feeling?
I think I'm gonna change my Pittsburgh pick.
Okay. Now, do you want to pick somebody else in the division, or are we going to another division?
I'm gonna say only one AFC North team makes it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take instead. I will take the. It's one of the AFC West teams. And I got the Raiders winning the division. So I'll go with Los Angeles Chargers. No, so I'll go with I can't hitch my wagon at Justin Herbert, dude. Give me the Denver Broncos over. Swap them to finishing third. And yes to the playoffs. And Chargers are last.
Okay.
Man, this is the division to really pick Kansas City to fall down these rankings. This is the year. But this division can't beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. It's. I tell you what, from a viewership perspective, fantastic division. Having your team live in that division, terrifying.
Terrible. The problem is all the coaches are phenomenal. All the quarterbacks are better than most in the rest of the National Football League.
I think that division, you're looking at the lowest teams going to finish at worst 7-10, probably 8-9, and your division winner's going to get 11 wins, 12 at the very max. You're talking like a 3-game spread from first to last.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I said on the thing. I was like, I know I picked Denver to finish fourth, but I picked them to be 8-9. You know what I mean? Like, so now I'm like, give me the over, give me yes for the playoff, because I think that division will take 3. Sitting back and looking at it, and I think this is the first year Pittsburgh doesn't. I think Mike Tomlin has an 8-9 season, for the first time in his career, and then open the floodgates. Who knows what the hell happens with Mike Tomlin, and it's pure chaos from there. The head coach and quarterback could be gone in the same offseason. It's a clean break, it's a clean sweep, and the Pittsburgh Steelers could start over. We'll see, man. There's a lot of question marks. There's a reason why we do this. It's a lot of fun. We'll be wrong on mostly everything. And, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's what I'm sticking with. I'll take 3 from the AFC West. I have the Raiders still winning the division because that's who I'm hitching my wagon to. And then the New England Patriots surprise people and make the playoffs this year.
All right. So you have Buffalo and New England from that division?
Yeah, I already had that.
Just adding it into the bottom. All right, and then so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're only taking Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so Jermaine's AFC teams are Baltimore, Las Vegas, Kansas City, Denver, Buffalo, New England, and Jacksonville. Nevada, back to you. You have Baltimore and Cincinnati. You want to stick with that?
Yes.
And then you have Kansas City, Denver, and the Chargers.
Yes.
All right, so that puts you at 5. Then you have Buffalo and Jacksonville. You comfortable with those being your AFC teams?
Correct.
Chalk. 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 Let me take 3 teams who made it last year from the AFC West. Let me take the Baltimore Ravens and the Bills. Obviously, you're going to take those. You can't not take those. But those still, chalk.
Those are obvious. Yeah, obvious chalks. You're playing with fire if you don't take those guys.
I just think every year new teams pop up into the playoffs, and we're just like, where the hell they come from? This year, I'll take New England and Jacksonville and Las Vegas.
Yeah, I like the New England one. I was considering Cincinnati, but with a lack of defense, you can only outscore your opponents for so long.
You have Cincinnati though.
Or yeah, I'm sorry. That was my concern, was having Cincinnati out was because of the lack of defense.
Got it. Trey Hendrickson's back though. They didn't trade him.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. He'll hold teams to only 30 points, and the offense will score 35.
Eric thought he was gonna get away, dude. Eric thought he was gonna get away. Nah, we hear it, dude. We hear it. Give us your final minute on the Tennessee Titans.
If there's any team that's moving in the right direction, it's the Tennessee Titans. Dan Ward. They got to improve receiver and running back, but they have enough. I do think they finish 3rd in division, go to make the playoffs. Jeffrey Simmons and Devondre Sweat are freaking amazing. They'll be competitive day in and day out, or every week. But unfortunately, I don't have them making the playoffs. But I do think 2-3 years from now, Cameron Ward's going to be a stud, and this team will be a legitimate contender to continue, like repeat as with division winner regularly. And then my AFC teams are Baltimore, Kansas City, Denver, the Raiders, Buffalo, New England, and Indianapolis.
Get your own Raiders pick. No, I'm just kidding, dude. You guys got anything else?
Go Birds.
We are about 7 minutes away from Eric's 14-leg parlay to be done in the first.
I already put an L in the sheet. I already know it's going to happen. They're 31-7. They're not coming back. It's ridiculous.
7 minutes left in the game.
Fucking trash.
Very first leg of the parlay.
Hey, well, at least we lost on the first one, so I don't have to stress the rest of them.
Sure.
It's a good way to look at it. You imagine hitting all of them and the last one loses. That's always the worst. Actually, it's not, because you bet for the sweat. You bet for the winnings, obviously, but you're betting to feel alive. And there ain't no more alive than sitting there looking at that last leg.
There's nothing worse than having a big parlay and you're like, wow, this doesn't matter at all.
Just rip the ticket up.
Honestly, yeah. I'm glad I just get to focus on Texas, Ohio State. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I got you right where I want you, Nevada. You think this is a loss for me, but I'm counting this as a victory because it's just going to fuel me to get more wins to catch up to you here. So.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for the laugh track, dude. Yes.
For those of you listening, let us know what you think about the new sound bites. If you didn't notice them, goddamn, I don't know what you were listening to this whole time. Follow us on X, Instagram, and YouTube at Podcast Room303. Follow our sister pod, Revenge of the Pod, on all things social, wherever you get your podcasts. For myself, Jermaine Mendez, for the executive producers, the Nutty Putty and the EPE. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step